So this is a viewer submission that is a similar archetype to one that we had played on stream somewhat recently. We had played a collected company variation of this. So this one is not playing collected company, so it's got a selection of other various 4-drops and 5-drops up here to Neoform up into. But at the core, we are still an Inquisitor Captain deck. You're looking to Captain into glass pools and mirror images and charming prince and soul herders to blank captains. We've got 4 grizzled veterans that can conjure more captains out of the sideboard. Overall, as a comment to note, we have 41 total creatures, and 7 of these cost more than 3, so we have 34 hits for Inquisitor Captain, which is relevant because Inquisitor Captain does not count exile or in play. So you need to make sure that when you play this, you're actually going to get a trigger off of it. So let's go ahead and jump on into some games with this. I'm curious to see how this feels compared to the collected company variation that we had played a bit of earlier. Oh, Captain, my Captain. Shifting Ceratop. Shifting Ceratop's probably fine. I don't know. There's not that much control in the format. If you want to dedicate a slot to BD control decks, it seems like a fine card to do that. Just Guy hasn't really been popular though. I don't know that it's worth a slot. The Wolf Pup does not provide perpetual buffs, which is weird considering how most other things are templated in this in the new direct to digital cards. It puts counters on things. So it is very much in fact not good. Not good with blinks. Squirrel combo has been super popular in Historic recently. That being said, this archetype seems like it has a pretty okay matchup into these squirrel decks. Let's get rid of the Heliod for now. The company version of this at least felt like getting a matchup into there. Morning, Dark Confidant. This is... I explicitly did not have 1-mana accelerants in the build of this deck that we had played the other day, and I'm curious to see if they feel reasonable or not. Because, like, drawing a goose here on turn 4 is, like, just the absolute stone worst, right? I guess it's marginally better than a land. But I also probably wouldn't replace it with a land. Mana dorks. Mana dorks. So we can't really even race here. Heard you like Goose on turn 4, so why not turn 5? Asking the real questions. Oh, I guess I should blink the Goose to get another food here, technically. Less collected companies means we have a lower density of... Huh? What does this attack mean? They drew collected company? Love it. Not having company in our deck means we have less virtual copies of Inquisitor. This company lets us find the card that searches from our sideboard. Town Razor is wonderful, though. Love me some Razor Boy. Not historic, though. The opponent being extra slow. I mean, they have a ton of different triggers going on this deck, and it keeps, like, making them scry and stuff. And then, like, part of the problem is, from this position, without a card like Collected Company to generate me card advantage, I just don't really have anything. I don't have any catch-up mechanics from here, right? Like, how do what's my, I guess we could, like, Captain into Soulherder is the out from here. We'll take a draw step before packing it in. They're only one card away from comboing us here too, and they're getting infinite scries. They found a card to put on top, so even Captain into Soulherder is probably not good enough. Probably needs to be like Captain into Soulherder into Blink the Captain, find a Skyclave, get rid of the Helion. As like maybe a way to stay in it. I have an Ephemerate, had nothing to do with it. Yikes. And then I guess we bring in Hanged Executioner as extra removal. Probably Meddling Mage too. I think we want to leave Skyclave Apparition and Captain in the board because these are the two cards we're most likely to want to tutor up. My gut here wants to just cut all these Gilded Gooses, but I also know that I want to actually play games with these to see if they're good or bad. So I'm going to leave them in so we can experience what they feel like. SGS, thanks for the Prime. I appreciate the support. There's a ton of great people you can send that to every single month here on Twitch. Thanks for sending it this way this month. This is a 2-lander. It's got an Innkeeper here too, so if we draw an untapped land, it's a turn 3 Captain with an Ephemerate to back it up. It's not quite Crispus, so we need the Goose a little longer. Yep. Huh. I could theoretically Ephemerate this and guaranteed have the Captain, but I want to have the Ephemerate after I Captain, right? It's probably chilling it. Yeah, I actually retweeted a thing from the National Weather Service that apparently this yesterday set the record for the most 75-mile-plus-per-hour winds in a single day. And the other kind of yikes thing about it was they had all the days where, and like this here, right? Like we drew this goose. Imagine this goose was a land, right? Like this is just actually just worse than not having a land. Yeah, we also got up to 60. I'm gonna pull the tweet up actually, because the stats on it are like. So, today on Please Stop Voting for Politicians That Deny Climate Change exists. So, number of 75 plus mile per hour wind gusts. 12, 15, 21 set the record. These other two highest were in 2020, so within the last year. And notably, look at all these other records. They're all June and one August day. So the fact that this happened in general in the last few years has been up, but it also like in December is unheard of, typically speaking. Yes, yeah, exactly that. The other ones are during hurricane season, not in the middle of December in the Midwest. We tried deck with Nerve on it. I'm not really expecting that to be playable. So I'm explicitly trying things that I'm expecting to be more playable. I'm gonna block with this, and I'm gonna go ahead and ephemerate the Wall of Blossoms, and then we will flashback the ephemerate on the Innkeeper. But it feels like Historic is just such a brutally fast format, chat, that it feels like we've missed this beat and there's just no recovering at this point, right? So, it's worth being reflective on games like those ones I just experienced, because you could write the games off that I just experienced to, well, we got flooded and we got screwed. But I really just want to call attention to Gilded Goose in those games, right? Because in the first game, if Gilded Goose had been a spell, we wouldn't have been flooded, we'd have had more spells. And in that second game, if Goose had been a land, we wouldn't have been land screwed. We would have been able to cast the other spells that we had. So it's just like, the problem with mana dorks is they provide this phenomenon where you have these games where you simultaneously have too much mana and not enough at the same time. Like they cause both issues you experience with the resource system in games like this, basically. I think there's a playable Gruul deck in Historic. Yeah, I think the traditional Gruul aggro, Collected Company, Embercleave, Questing Beast is probably fine. I haven't been keeping the Historic decks on my website well updated, but there's an older variation up there if you look as a starting point. Shamans is okay. I think the Shamans deck's probably a little bit too inconsistent. If you enjoy popping off, the Shaman's deck can be a lot of fun. From a pure competitive access, I think the traditional Gruul aggressive deck is probably better. Well, so we weren't really having a problem with Goose not making mana. Like, we have a lot of blink effects to make the Goose make more mana, so I don't think that was really the problem, Cremorn. Our opponent not having a third land tier could be our saving grace. We do also have Skyclave plus Resto plus Soulherder here, which is a pretty decent against their creature matchup. We should hopefully be able to just keep their lords out of play. Yeah, I was super impressed with the Historic Giants deck. Like, I really couldn't believe how competitive that deck seemed. Ooh, Mistcaller can stop Resta is a good shout. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and Glasspool Mimic Skyclave here then, because of that. Main deck Mystic Dispute. Who hurt you, opponent? What was their name? Big USD. Thanks for the 3/4 of a year. Welcome back. And pass here. Yes, yeah, so now we can resto the Skyclave, and with the Goose mana, we can Ephemerate the resto in response to them doing this. Why are we accompanying in response? This is strange. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and Soulherder here. And I'm gonna attack with this. And then end of turn, Soulherder blinks this. And then I actually probably want to wait here, right? Because if they have another Island Walker... Yeah, I think I'm actually supposed to chill. I think I'm supposed to chill on the Ephemerate. Because if they have another Island Walker, it's how I lose the game. So I want to hold the Ephemerate in case they try and Island Walk me. Go to 3. Do I want to Ephemerate something here? Yeah, probably right. It's strictly better for them to have a generic 2/2 than a Merfolk 2/2, right? Yeah, because these don't get Island Walk if they top deck an Island Walk Lord. Okay, and then I think we just lock up the game by turning this Resto into a Thragtusk. Hey, Vang, thanks for the very generous tier 2 and for the 3 years of support. Glad you enjoy the daily deck stuff. Thanks for keeping me around. I mean, not only is this a 2-turn clock, but like the Thragtusk blinks at end of turn, giving us another 5 life and a beast token. So like, solidly into garbage time here. Convinced these Hanged Executioners are playable. This is a very expensive amount of mana for an exile effect. This was fine that game. That's a really good observation, Drunk Owl. Hanged Executioner is a way to tutor with Neoform to find a way to kill a Hushbringer. That's accurate. It's kind of unique in that effect, right? I think I'm supposed to mulligan this. Not only is it missing blue mana, but like it also just doesn't have any interaction. Doesn't have a captain either. This technically has a captain in it at least. 2-drop into 3-drop into captain on 4. Oh, captain, my captain. No, 1-drop is great for us. Things you love to see it. Is there island walk in my future? Not yet. A nice lovely blocker here. And they turned a creature into a trop, so they almost assuredly have a collected company that next turn, right? Yikes! Mist Caller is so good against us, chat. Why is Mist Caller so good? Yeah, I think we're just supposed to jam through this. They also didn't company me this turn. Merfolk's probably a pretty decent deck choice at the moment. This Caller's a reasonable card in the format. To against Indomitable Creativity too. Yep. Why do we even bother scrying, chat? Why do we even bother scrying? Because it's nice to know. Fair. I feel like we're probably dead here. I should be dead this turn, right? Like, I can play this. I have to shock to play this. I'm taking at least 2. A weird boarding card. I assume Scatter's in their main deck, Chase. Yeah, sure, Seth. Well, I need a second green for Huntmaster. What's going on, Bacon? Welcome back. The kids don't really have, like, any big things that we're asking for, Chase. They're gamers like the rest of us at this point, chat. They, are not super into toys anymore at this point. And, a lot of their gaming, I don't even know that I'd strictly call it spoiled. Like, I guess they're like pseudo-spoiled because they like each have their own Android device, but like a lot of what they play is just like rotating through freemium games. We just can't block. Your 5-year-old wanted Minecraft. Minecraft is great for small children. Everyone should give their children Minecraft. They will get lots of hours out of that game. In a way that's really good and creative. Yeah, like this Huntmaster just like doesn't even do anything, so I don't have any creatures in hand for it to turn anything into. What's going on, Bazipples? 6 or 18 months? Yeah, it just feels like I can't do anything here, right? Like, none of my cards work. I guess I'm, like, taking the turn to Executioner a Mistcaller. Feels bad, man. Yeah, you can, not only can you play on the Switch 2 modes, but you can play co-op on the same Switch. It can be a little bit pokey sometimes, but it runs pretty well. And the Switch versions comes with a Mario-themed world, too, which you can load up. And something that a lot of games don't do that Minecraft on the Switch does, too, is you can play 2 people on the same Switch while also playing multiplayer with other people online. So, like, both my boys will play on the same Switch on the TV while playing with my brother-in-law quite frequently. Man, they just shoved us in a trash can this game, chat, this match. We, like, had a kind of close one game that we won, and then we got just dumpstered in these other 2. Well, my brother-in-law is like a decade younger than me, two Mo's, so he does not have children. So he's definitely solidly in cool uncle territory. Colin the Tree, thanks for the 39 months. Welcome back. As a heads up, we do variety stuff basically every day at the end. We started Ruined King, Riot's turn-based RPG game for the combat system a couple of days ago. It's been really good. We're going to wrap up on that again today and tomorrow. I have one older brother and one younger brother as far as immediate blood relatives go. And then Christy just has the one brother that's much younger than her. Most of them are all up in the Chicagoland area though, so like outside of video games remotely, we don't do a whole lot with them. I am cautiously optimistic about the new Pokemon RPG, the Arceus thing, but I also know Nintendo refuses to get voice acting for any of their games, so that kind of like hamstrings my ability to enjoy them a little bit from the start. My video game immersion is so much worse without voice acting. And again, like chat, just imagine if this card is a land. I can keep this hand on the draw and it's probably fine, but it's a goose, so I have to mulligan. Alright, so your opponent's likely playing a Paradox Engine combo deck, some kind of Emery Kenyan thing. Yeah. Our start is very good here. Feels like our opponent's just gonna like linear us into the ground. We don't have any particularly interactive elements going on right now. What's the best way to put it? Pokemon reworking their formula to add a hard mode for hardcore older fans probably wouldn't net them that much more sales, chat. The way you tend to expand your audience more is by making your games more casual, not more competitive. The competitive audience, regardless of what your game is always much, much smaller than the casual audience. Also, it's much easier to, you can let people make their own hard mode. You can't really let people make their own easy mode. So like, people can arbitrarily put constraints on themselves to make games harder. They can't arbitrarily say, oh, I'm gonna get rid of this part of the game that's difficult. So like, as someone who advocates for like games like Dark Souls are silly because they don't let people like have easy modes as an option, like you can't just like make the enemies easier to kill. Whereas like Pokemon, people talk about things like Nuzlocke and stuff like that, or no battle items or whatever. Like those are things you could very easily substitute to make the game more challenging. Yeah, or permadeath run, stuff like that. Chat, I think Dark Souls game design is some of the laziest game design in the world, so I will never miss an opportunity to take a pop shot at it. Sure, I'm just telling you, Cedrus, that while what you're saying would be nice, it wouldn't really bring in more people, because making your game harder doesn't really expand your audience a significant amount, while making your game more casual does. Again, just like this Gilded Goose, this Gilded Goose had been a green-white land in most of these games, it would just be so much better. I'm gonna give this deck one more chance before we rotate into something else, but I'm pretty over the changes this build made to the Collected Company version we played the other day on stream. Feels like they're basically strictly worse. Nah, I don't think that's true at all, Martian. Like, even take, like, the Merfolk matchup or this matchup and go look at the other build that we played. We had a bunch of things like Baffling Ends in the sideboard and stuff like that. We had Collected Companies to find our interactive creatures more consistently. Gilded, thanks for keeping it on, Chuggin. I appreciate you repping every month. Welcome back. Thanks for almost 2 years. The Gilded Geese specifically have done an excellent job of showing why mana creatures are trash in this archetype. It feels like so far. The number of games where we just like haven't had functional hands where we would have if like the goose was anything else. All right, I mean, like, this is the nuts as far as Goose is concerned, right? We get to go Goose into Soulherder, Blink the Goose. If the Goose ain't good here, it ain't good anywhere. Nothing too exciting here, Demir Spy. Not doing any traveling. The kids will be double poked around Christmas, so they're going to be doing a couple of different kids camps things in town over school break. The Discovery Museum and the Park District are both doing things for them that they're excited to go do, so that's nice. Hey, thanks for the 44 months, AGH. Welcome back. Good morning, good morning. Alright, let's get Spellbinding. Well, he made their things cost 2 more, but they were 1 mana cards. Yikes. So, Rest in Peace is good here. I think we're supposed to leave the extra Yasharn in the board for fetching with Grizzled Huntmaster. I know this was okay that game, but I think on average this card's kind of mediocre in this matchup, so I'm going to trim it. Yeah, we said, like, that was Goose's game to shine, right? I mean, we had them pretty well beat that game. Our Soulherders were going to be getting large, and they were never going to get to kill them with meat hooks. You're going to outscale their squirrel very quickly. Yeah, I agree, Progi. Trying to not be results-based in the moment is especially tough at times. Being able to look back and go, okay, was this an average case scenario? What do I expect the average case to look like? This card's good in their deck. Technically gives them more. Cat and Oven Density. So, am I supposed to Huntmaster dig for Captain here? Think so, and just hope to draw the land naturally. I guess even if we don't draw the land, I can Neoform the Huntmaster next turn. I think I'm gonna ditch the redundant Soulherder here. I don't want 2 captains. I think I want the extra Soulherder as a creature in my hand to cast potentially, but I want to hold the Thragtusk to gain a little bit of life down the line if we need it while they're bouncing the cat in and out. Rage of Masters, thanks for the brand new Prime support. There's a ton of great people you can send that to every month here on Twitch. Thanks for sending it this way this month. Welcome back. I'm curious, Rage. It said you've been following on Twitch here for 14 hours. Did you drop by yesterday and decide this was the content for you, or are you someone that's followed on YouTube and just decided to make your way over to Twitch now? I'm always curious when new people find their way in. Christy's pretty much back to normal at this point, Silence. Although Haley's going a little crazy in with being home. I feel a little bit bad for her. Been lurking for a while and just decided to sub now. Sweet. Well, welcome to chat. Thanks for the support. Haley's definitely a people person, unlike her father. So she's always a little sad when the boys get to leave in the morning and she has to stay home since her daycare room's closed. She's super adorable though. She helps the boys get ready to go in the morning. She like finds coats and like if Christy brings masks down, she like picks the masks up and hands them to the boys before they walk out the door. She's very big on like making sure things are in the right spot, which is actually kind of helpful because like she knows all of the doors on the main floor are like supposed to be closed, and we keep them closed so she can't get into places. But it's turned into if we like forget to close a door, she like walks up and closes the doors now because she wants things to be how they're supposed to be. A self-regulatory prisoner, solidly Stockholmed into doing the right thing. I just want to draw a card here. I guess if I would have taken the goose, we could have like Thragtusk plus Ephemerate next turn. Could have potentially been a line. Have any OCD tendencies? I prefer to like not self-classify things like that because that could be a disorder that like very seriously impacts people's lives. No, it's a verbiage thing, but like I'd rather refer to things like that as like a tick maybe or something like that, or like a quirk. So 28 months, Beansy. Alright, so every oven loop is 2 because of the Meat Hook Massacre. Maybe I do need to Thragdad this turn. I guess if I'm captaining, though, and ephemerating, we have a chance to find answers to some of this stuff. Okay, that's actually great. Referring to it as compulsive feels accurate. Hey, Beansy, any tier is above and beyond. I appreciate the people that are here just watching. Thanks for all your support over the years. We'll be here regardless. I think we just go ahead and do this now, so that way if we find a Soulherder, we can blink something at end of turn. Kind of hoping for Skyclave to get rid of the Loris. Nailed it. Bezos tier, best tier, chat. Redistribute all of the Bezos wealth. This archetype does seem like it's pretty good into the food deck. It feels like we bigger fish the food deck. Oh yeah, that's true. It's vigilant, so I should blink the one they can't attack. That's a good shout. I might regret asking this question, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it out here anyways. How is Elon Musk worth the money that he's worth? Like, it's easy to understand how Jeff Bezos became rich because, like, Amazon is everywhere and everything, but, like, stocks in what? Because, like, I get that Tesla makes cars, but, like, they don't sell that many cars, right? Is it purely because of valuations of Tesla? Is that it? Is it just because the stocks are overinflated? Because of speculation? It's just a bunch of people betting futures on Tesla and SpaceX being the future, basically. Yes. Okay, that makes sense. I was always a little confused by that, but people betting on futures on the markets that he's in makes sense. Well, I know he inherited well and had the PayPal thing, but like those don't turn into richest man on the planet type things, right? Because like Jeff Bezos, it's very easy to understand where his money came from because Amazon is just into everything and provides lots of services that people pay money for. But like, there aren't that many Teslas on the road. I feel like this is a good point where I'm someone who prides himself on being able to admit when he was wrong. And I would like to apologize to Magic boomers and finance people for a minute, because I often unfairly referred to Magic finance as an unregulated stock market. And when I called it that gave the implication that there was a regulated stock market. And I've come to the understanding that a regulated stock market doesn't exist. So I was unfairly referring to Magic Finance as an unregulated stock market. It was, in fact, just a stock market. There were never any regulations, chat. It was all in my head. Are we just like playing a Restoration Angel as a 3/4 in combat here? I think we are. The stock market's regulated, but only for poor people. That's fair. There are a lot of things and what you can and can't do with Roths and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm familiar with the stuff Pelosi done. She is in fact a shitty old hag, chat. Ghoul, is ghoul the word I'm looking for? I think ghoul is the ideal descriptor I'm looking for. Well, I couldn't cast Collected Company here because of Thalia, actually. And I wonder if they can beat me blinking Thragtusk. Gargoyle is the technical term. I don't know, chat. I can call Nancy Pelosi a ghoul and still tell people to fuck off with the both sides things, because call me old-fashioned, but I think there's a fundamental difference between profiting off your position of power and supporting a literal fucking coup. There are, believe it or not all shitty things are the same. Life is shades of gray and varying degrees of shitty. There was a debate for the GOP primary for running for governor of Minnesota this week. And one of the questions they asked these 5 deeply evil, stupid people was, did Joe Biden win a legitimate election in 2020? And not one of the 5 gubernatorial candidates for the GOP in Minnesota got remotely close to saying yes. Because they understand the audience that they are playing their show for. Correct. Some number of them, I mean, some of them are drunk on their own Kool-Aid, but a number of them understand that things were fine, but don't want to say that because they know their base will crucify them. Correct. Saying yes would take their nomination as accurate. Okay, so we're gonna get Blinky on Thragtusk here, and then we'll draw Yorion. Thragtusk, one of the best green creatures ever. When it comes to generating sick value, it's definitely true. Oh look, they can finally cast their Collected Company, chat. When will Arena institute a better clock policy? Never. Chat, Arena's not really gonna get new features or quality of life improvements. I was honestly shocked when we got the Playblade update, because I'm pretty firmly expecting Arena only ever to get new cards from here on out. Just bring in the Executioners as a touch of extra removal and click submit. It definitely feels like with us being Yorion, we're the bigger fish in this Bant mirror. Bandage used to be free to cast. Yep. Well, so it's important to note that MTGO is on its 4th iteration, but every time they iterated on it, it like kept everything the same. So like the reason why like Duels of the Planeswalkers was scrapped was it was like never a full Magic client to begin with. So like I don't think there's realistically any danger of like the Arena client being replaced by something else that's new. I think there's a non-zero chance they like do a major refactor / rebuild at some point. Speaking from experience in the games industry, something like that is pretty common to happen, specifically with like Unity engine updates. Did Alchemy come to MTGO? No. What about when WotC releases Dual Discs? It's time to duel. Dota puts quality of life improvements in their battle pass. That can't be real. What's an example? What's a quality of life improvement Dota locked behind a battle pass? I need a, cause like, people always tout, I've never heard anything bad about Dota from an economy standpoint, so now I'm like morbidly curious. They don't just lock hats behind paywalls. Alright, so do we Huntmaster to find another Inquisitor Captain? I guess I have these, but they could get rid of this. Yeah, I'm gonna Huntmaster too, because it gives me a Neoform target for another Captain as well. May I just grab Skyclave Apparition here, actually? Let's do that. I have other ways to get to another Captain. Locola, thanks for the 10 months. Welcome back. By the way, folks, if you're interested in playing in or watching one of the first major Alchemy tournaments, this weekend is going to be the Froglandia Open in the Alchemy format. Going to be Saturday. Myself and Jim Davis will be bringing you the action all day with special guest commentator Cedric Phillips joining us for a couple of rounds in the middle. So Magic Duels ran on mobile platforms, I believe, but that technically wasn't a full Magic experience. I also think that was locked to tablets only, not phones, if I recall correctly. WMG, thanks for the 13 months. Welcome back. Good morning, good morning. I've been casting it as a VTuber since the first digital only tournament. Pass. Hard pass. guess I don't need another Grizzled Veteran. Am I even getting here? And grab a Yorion for good measure. And remember, this conjures a copy, so I could grab Yorion and still have a Yorion over here. True Jade, thanks for the follow. Good morning. We are going to need to start getting some removal plate out here so we don't die to these Angels of Unity in the air. We'll probably want to Skyclave take one. Yeah, okay. I'm going to gain 4 here. It's kind of terrifying. Wow. I missed that one. Gave her the Frost Dragon might kill us here, chat. This is about to flip over here now too, right? Because they spent their turn. Yikes. Oh yeah, I guess I can flip it back. I just grabbed Hanged Executioner here now, right? These are a few of my favorite things. I mean, I don't even know that we were winning this game, but the opponent is over it. That seems to happen a lot in these Bant mirrors. Where like, I feel like this is, if you don't want to play a game where the board is huge like this, you probably shouldn't register a Bant deck in this format. Hey, what's going on, Demox? Thanks for the over 3.5 years. Welcome back. Yeah, the Bant deck's a bad deck to play on mobile, chat. Hey, thanks for 27 months, Pique. Alchemy and Historic have these same cards, Limuse is correct. So any card that is rebalanced on Magic Arena applies to all digital-only formats. Historic, Brawl, and Alchemy all use the same cards. Our deck is kind of a value deck, but it's also like this pseudo combo kill too. Missing white mana. The Chariot change isn't a strict nerf. The Chariot change is a side grade, which is one of my favorite ways to see them change cards. Making things not strictly better or strictly worse, but in the same vein as the original design and slightly different is ideal. Now, I think, chat, it's so weird to hear people say they should fragment Historic into two things. Like, Historic was always marketed as a digital-only format from the start. Now, what I do think should happen is that getting Pioneer onto Arena should be a priority for the paper boomers that want a non-rotating format on Arena. But I think fragmenting Historic is very silly. Isn't the fact it doesn't produce enough power to clear itself strict lures? I'm going to give you a 10-minute timeout so you can go read the new text on Azeka's Chariot. Is there anything more peak Magic the Gathering, chat, than someone giving me their opinion on a Magic card they haven't read? Really is peak Magic the Gathering. I think the release of Alchemy pushes back the time frame on Pioneer, almost assuredly. That is the second Game 1 dispute we've played against today. Yes, thanks for the 24 months. Welcome back. Grab another captain here. Captain, oh, captain, my captain. I guess I could have a third Phoenix here. This is only okay here because, like, the Phoenixes have haste, so if they can untap and kill Deputy, they just, like, get their birds back. My body is ready to get, like, Game 1 Anger of the Gods tier or whatever. Yeah, right, Gully? I mean, obviously, like, I need to take the Phoenixes out of play so I don't die, but Still doesn't feel great. They're like gonna discard a third Phoenix, 'cause that's how this game works, and then kill my thing and kill me. We played an alchemy version of the Boros Burn deck. You can check it out on my YouTube channel here. Just getting Gilded Goose. It's a blocker that also gains me 3. This is Gilded Goose's redemption arc, mood. Goose is like, put me in, coach. I've been so bad for so much of this set. Please, please, just trust me. And if we just gain another 3? All of the life gain has belonged to us. Yeah, they'll just leave the fetches out, Trench. Much like they just didn't put Smuggler's Copter onto Magic Arena when they did Kaladesh Remaster. Just cards that aren't legal in Pioneer, they just won't print onto Arena. Prince could have hit a creature from a sweeper. We're not beating a sweeper at this point. Yeah. Oh, I forgot that I had a mirror image here. Because usually the clones are foil, but the mirror image clones aren't foil. Yeah, I definitely should have blinked this and deputied the Crackling Drake. That was 100% blind. Looks like we're going to be okay here regardless, but I agree that taking the Crackling Drake off the board was a better play. Okay, and then they should be dead here, right? Need to buy foil mirror images is the real takeaway. Plus. Oh my gosh, we lost because they had land removal spell. Holy crap, there's a third Phoenix in there, man. Yeah, we lost because I messed up. GG, opponent. Our deck was capable of winning this game. I was not. We need to foil the image. I don't even know if there's a foil image available, chat. I will check, though. Oh, I will check. Any other alchemy plays seeing play besides Inquisitor Captain? Not really. Not in any good decks, at least. And again, that's gonna be the norm, chat. Like, the more and more cards, then that's why I've been so eye-rolly at all the comments about alchemy rebalances hurting historic. Like, most cards that get touched because of alchemy are not going to be historic playable. They're not. Most of these cards aren't going to make an impact in the higher format. This format is much higher power level than Standard and Alchemy will be. Yeah, exactly, Nor. I know, this was a donation to play this specific version of this archetype. I am expecting the first round of rebalances in Alchemy to likely involve the blue decks again, and then probably the black sack deck as well. Yeah, would be my educated guess. I feel like I need a hotkey for toggling auto-ordered triggered abilities on and off. Yeah, there hasn't been much mono green is the answer, BTY. This is the other downside to having Goose in this deck. You have to, like, hit Gilded Goose with Inquisitor Captain on occasion, and it's not great. Maybe I should have just taken the 4-3. Now, chat, I spend less than $200 a month on Magic Arena. I agree that Werewolves has more tools, feels like it has more tools than Green does in Historic. Werewolves got a lot of solid upgrades. It's okay, Messiah. In a way, commenting on a card and getting timed out for not knowing the text box of the card you're commenting on is a rite of passage here. So long as you don't show up after the timeout talking about how your rights had just been violated, you'll be okay. So, I only attacked with the Skyclave here and not this because they could have had a removal spell like they did. Man, these Gilded Geese, chat. My body is ready to lose my entire board to an Anger of the Gods. I'm actually kind of hoping to hit a Charming Prince here, so that way I can exile something and get these Soulherders out of Sweltering Sun / Anger range. Is that a real post? The circle jerk command is a real comment copy and pasted from someone that was upset. Really, they gave us a gift, chat. They spawned a channel meme. A lovely, lovely channel meme. Exiling Hanged Executioner makes the Soulherders bigger, chat. Look at this big brain deck. It's just good deck building, chat. Okay, this matchup actually doesn't seem bad. We'd have won that first game with slightly better play, and we won that pretty solidly. Speaking of Magic players having strong takes on things they know nothing about, the Runeterra players in the audience will appreciate this. I had a Magic player on Twitter tell me that the only reason Runeterra's economy is so cheap and player-friendly is because of dusting. And for the people that haven't ventured into the wonderful world of Runeterra, that's funny because Runeterra doesn't have dusting, and it still has the most player-friendly economy of any digital card game out there. And if you're a Magic player who's wondering how those two things are possible, it's because Runeterra doesn't have random card packs. They do this really novel thing of just letting you buy the cards you want. What is dusting? For people that haven't experienced Hearthstone, dusting refers to the ability to destroy a card that you have to get back 20% of its value. So in Hearthstone, you can take 4 rares that you don't want and turn them into 1 rare that you do want. $5, $25. I forget. So different games. What is the Hearthstone? Is the Hearthstone ratio 4-1 or is it 5-1? Maybe I'm thinking of a different game with 4-1. They're all not good. 4-1, 5-1 is still not good. Yeah, I agree, Bibbs. I've spent 4 digits worth of money on Hearthstone. As someone who is a large sea creature in every digital card game he plays, the Magic Arena economy is actually better for me than the Hearthstone economy, and it's not particularly close. Magic players don't read the cards of their own game. You expect them to read the rules of another game? Fair. Fair. Accurate. The thing that happens with dusting for people that haven't experienced it before, and this is why dusting is such a good system for the company, is you'll be like, well, I've never used this one card. I'm going to go ahead and dust the playset of these because I probably won't use it because I just need 1 more rare to complete this deck. And then 2 weeks later, they'll like buff that card or nerf something else to make that card you thought you were never going to use playable. And you're like, oh, well, now I have to spend money reacquiring the thing that I just torched because I thought I was never going to use it because now I'm going to use it. Yeah, the Magic players who want dusting is very much the grass is always greener on the other side type people. There are people that really haven't experienced it before and they can't comprehend why it's also bad for the consumer. We're looking for a way to exile one of these, ideally. Yes, it's like buy listing all of your cards. Is Deputy a good enough way to get rid of this? I don't think it is. I think we try and roll for better. Okay, I think I want a Skyclave Apparition or a Hanged Executioner. Perfect. Yeah, but that's the point, Mup. They're not always crappy forever. And, like, what you want to play as a person changes. It's not nearly as simple as... It's not nearly as simple as it's made out to be. Yeah, especially in digital games where cards text boxes can change. You get 2 mythic wild cards per 30 or so packs on Arena. Plus whatever mythics you open in those packs. Okay, so... How do we want to sequence here? I obviously want to take both of their things out of play. So do we Charming Prince the Skyclave, or do we Inquisitor Captain to try and find another? It feels like they have a shock here. So I think playing Inquisitor Captain is probably better against a shock, right? The Inquisitor Captain's not guaranteed to get rid of one of their things, though. I could just Prince and gain 3. That's true. Maybe that's the right line, actually. Yeah, I don't hate that line. Honestly, Hanged Executioner is a great hit here. Two flying blockers is nice. This works out just fine. Qdoba is the C tier Tex-Mex style burrito food in the United States. Alright, maybe C tier is harsh. I think Qdoba is better than Moe's. It's like Chipotle, Qdoba, Moe's is the Tex-Mex hierarchy. I'll give Qdoba B tier, chat. It's below Chipotle. Taco Bell's not in the same category as Qdoba or Chipotle. I haven't had Pancheros. Those were never in any of the places I traveled to or locally for me, so I don't have an opinion on them. Another streamer I follow said Qdoba is worse than Chipotle, and I haven't watched them since. God bless. Yeah, the Phoenix matchup for this archetype seems strong. Like, our deck was capable of winning all 3 games that set. I just punted the first one by missing a line. And it felt relatively reasonable last time we played this archetype too. And I would also just like the record to reflect that, like, I don't even think Chipotle is anything, like, super special. It's just, like, it's reasonable food at an okay price. Like I get like my veggie burrito bowl from Chipotle for like $8 and it's enough food for 2 meals, so 2 $4 meals with reasonable quality ingredients is like fine. Ancho and agave. I don't know if I qualify ancho and agave in the same category as like Chipotle and the others. I do love ancho, you know. That's just a local thing for Bloomington though, right? Ancho is much more expensive though. They're good food, but they're expensive. So, I don't think so there's too many Magic products that I can't follow them all, chat. But I'm pretty sure we're not in full preview season for Kamigawa. I think they're just showing us a couple of cards, and then there's a winter break. Yeah, it's like pre-preview season, chat. This is a pre-preview. Oh, no. I will say, to throw Wizards a bone, because I believe in throwing Wizards a bone when they do something right. One of the small, these freaking geese, chat. One of the small upsides of Wizards pumping out infinite products is that I actually really like that for the most part, we only have like 2 weeks or a week and a half spoiler seasons these days. Like, as someone who largely only cares about the standard sets or like the sets that are going to impact on Arena, the fact that the spoiler season isn't like, am I misremembering? At one point, spoiler season was like 4 to 6 weeks for Magic, right? It was like really long. Well, so the key to having breaks in between content releases is that you just need to not care about a bunch of Magic products, chat. Just like, choose not to give a shit about Commander Product 27. Choose not to care about Limited Focus Product number 89. Wizards has leaned hard into the different products appeal to different people. Just figure out which ones appeal to you and ignore the rest. That's fine. I didn't want to play Magic after I mulliganed to 5 anyways. It's no big deal. Alchemy, I don't like using the S word anymore. Yeah, that's true. Poor bot's dead. Alright, so they're about to escape a Cruxa. I'm gonna concede because I don't have double white. Rest in Peace is good. Executioner seems fine again. I trim these discard spells of my own. Remorseful Cleric seems fine. I'm gonna trim a Goose to this matchup, because this matchup's more about threat density. Is it a month behind? I thought it was 2 to 3 weeks. At any rate, we will get a much smaller alchemy card release / rebalance following every standard set moving forward. So this first batch of cards for alchemy was the biggest batch of them because they were like backfilling for a bunch of previous sets. And like a lot of people are making another mountain out of a molehill with alchemy, being like, oh god, I had to spend $200 to get every new alchemy card. I'm gonna have to spend an extra $200 per set. It's like, no, you bad faith idiot that can't follow announcements. Like, it's gonna be like 20 to 40 bucks or so per set because the other alchemy releases will be much smaller than this one. Because this one's backfilling a bunch. Do I get most of my board games online? My wife acquires most of our board games, which many of which I believe came from Kickstarter, which I guess counts as the internet. And to call a spade, the only reason the alchemy set releases are sold in booster packs as opposed to as an anthology is corporate greed, chat. There's no way to sugarcoat it. It's just greed. Well, our lands are tapped and awkward, but I'm not mulliganing into the discard deck again. There will not be a limited alchemy format. The booster packs only exist because of greed. I will say, if you're someone that's going to venture into the world of Kickstarter supporting video game, or Kickstarter supporting board games, not all board games are created equal, chat. There are a lot of really terrible games that get kickstarted. Infra Arcana, thanks for the follow. I ditch these. These are my value generating ones. Ah, nice, Jez. Okay, if we get to untap and cast this, should be in a pretty good spot. Chat, so I don't buy board games, chat. I play board games. My wife is a board game collector, and I just happen to play some of the games she has collected over the years. How many games do we have? That's not a number I'm familiar with, because if I count them, it becomes real. Ooh, Soulherder Rest in Peace is technically a combo, huh? There is a tabletop channel in the subs Discord, which is a mix of both board games and pen and paper RPG. I should probably visit the mana base in this deck. The old 5th land coming into play tapped as a buddy land is a real rough beat.
Things have not gone my way.
I can't blink this because it's a Glasspool Mimic. I guess I could turn it into a wall. mean, they didn't really have anything worth exiling, right? I think I'd rather draw a card in that spot. Also, for reference, for people looking at the board game shelf behind me, there's actually another rung above the top one you can see here, where there's more stuff shoved up top. So that's most of it with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shelves. But there's a top of that has more stuff up there. That's true. There's also some Muggle games like Risk and Monopoly shoved in the closet. We don't really play those. This is why I didn't mulligan, by the way. Just like keep the hand with lands, be able to cast whatever spells we draw, hope for good draws off the top. You could buy 5 commander decks with that those shelves of board games, or 1 good commander deck. The swarm is hungry, chat. Muggle is a Harry Potter reference for non-magic person. In this context, I'm using it to refer to a non-gamer. I think we just draw this here. Masculine Teeth, thanks for the 5 months. Welcome back. Inquisitor Captain would be good. I guess we go Goose into Temple. I recently stopped playing a gacha I was dolphining, so my gaming budget opened up. Yeah, I was a small dolphin in Raid Shadow Legends when I played. Spent like 50 to 100 bucks a month on it. You know, half my arena budget. Great, no discard spell, and we drew a good spell. What's a dolphin? So there's varying sea creature sizes in the mobile game world, chat. Dolphins, whales, krakens. They refer to how much you spend. Minnows. Minnows, dolphins, whales, krakens, I believe are the spending tiers. It's why all subs have a minnow emote. And there's a dolphin for tier 2s, and there's a whale for tier 3s. There's also a golden whale for the krakens. They did in fact bring 2 spears. Chat, if you spend $0 on a game like Magic Arena, you're basically a non-player character for the people that are spending money. VR Baba Kraken, he is. The mightiest of the Kraken. We're really bad at enjoying Inquisitor Captain. This deck is definitely much worse in spots like this than the Collected Company build. Crocs is about to come back. We have an insane captain next turn. We could come back in this, but it has to be exactly that. We only have 3 copies of those to draw to. Not gonna do it. Yeah, so overall, the core of this deck, I think, is good. I honestly would not be surprised to see Inquisitor Captain get a nerf to say it only triggers if it was cast from your hand when you play it. But overall, the couple of slightly bigger things in here and the Gilded Goose, it felt much worse to me than just playing Collected Company in the deck. Your curve just gets a lot tighter, and the mana base in this build was cleaner too. There weren't a bunch of awkward come into play tapped lands late, and you just need to curve out lower. So I like this build a lot more. This build is up on the YouTube channel. We had played this one. So if you're looking to play this archetype, I think this is definitely the configuration I would recommend checking out.